All right. Mm, Okay, okay, okay. Um, so what is going on, creatives? I'm here again with another beautiful tutorial, and I hope you guys are fully ready because I am. And yeah, I want to specially welcome you all. I want to specially welcome you all to my weekly design training where I share free design tips with designers. As you already know, my name is Ekiade Adetunji, and I am the founder of Caesar Empowerment Foundation. And today I have a design I received from a designer during the week, and I want to specially thank this designer for sending this design uh, to me and my team to review. And if you want your design to feature in any of our upcoming meeting, kindly use the link in the description section of this video to join our Telegram group and send your design to any of the admin aside from Caesar Graphics. Okay, yeah. All right. So, how are we all doing today? I hope you are all excited, and let's quickly go straight to business. All right. So, I'm going to switch to my other screen now so you guys can see. Uh, so you guys can see my Photoshop screen. Um, yep. Okay. I hope everyone can see my screen. I can see my screen here. All right. So this is the design I'm going to review in today's training. And I'm going to start with what is working in the project, and I'll go straight to what is not working in the design. All right. So the first thing I love so much about this project here is the part of you know, making the project bright enough for us to see the illustration and also, um, the title. All right. And the designer did, a good job here. All right. Another thing I love so much about, the project here is the gradient, the gradient effect that we have on the background here. Because if you look at this side of the project here, you see there's this light glow or blue tone here, and this really made our attention go to this illustration we have here. And another thing I love about the project here is the white space between the logo and the title. This made the making this icon here visible to us, and this here is successful. All right. Then the other part I think I also like here is the way the designer placed the contact details at the bottom part of the frame here, which, you know, um, the designer helped the viewers to know that this part of the project here is where you get, excuse me, is where you get I need to zoom out. So this side of the project here, all right, is where you get the contact details, where you can contact this brand here, you know, and this the part of the helping the viewers to know where to get the contact information here is beautiful. All right. Now let's go straight to what is not working in the project, because you see, as a designer, the part of placing the elements is important. In fact, yeah, you need to place the elements in the project, but you don't just place the elements because, okay, you just want everything to be there. All right. There's the strategic way of, doing this. And if you can take my advice here, I'm sure you guys are going to, you know, find it easy to know how to place your elements the right way. Now, The first thing I noticed that did not really, work here to me is the part of splitting or breaking the title like this. All right. Making your title go 5 lines is not always nice. We have line 1, we have 2 here, we have 3, we have 4, and we have 5. It's not always nice to have 5 lines on your title. It's part of how most clients know professional from amateur. All right, so your title should not be this bold. I mean, it shouldn't be this. The lines are not supposed to be this much. At least 3 lines max. And I need you all to write this down. Your title should not be more than, let's say, 3 lines max. All right, and if you want to make your project simple, you can always make it 2 max. 2 is nice. In fact, I always like to go with 2 lines. Why? Because 2 lines always help make my project look simple. And as a designer, making your project look simple is part of how you help your viewers access the information in your project. Making your project look too full is not going to help. So that's the first thing I notice here. And then still on the title, I have another thing I want to say on the title. You see, when it comes to working on corporate project, all right, it's always nice to make your titles simple. All right, it's always nice to not make it too uh um I mean, like, most time making it have these heavy characters like this, the way you make them big like this can affect the making it look simple. All right, so for me, I always like to make my corporate design title not too. Now you can use bold character, but in a case where you notice the title is long, all right, please, light style is what I think you should use whenever you have long titles like this. All right. And the other thing I noticed that did not really balance here is the part of the white space. All right. This project really lack white space where placing the element is concerned, because if you look at the information here, you see they all share similar space between them, and it made the project look like all this information here belong together. And when you make your content, your elements look like they belong together, it will be difficult for the eye to rest when going through the information that you have in the project. So the way we have the contents close to each other here is not really okay here. Then the other thing I notice here is the part of contrast. All right, we have too many contrasts in the project, and we also have the not paying attention to placing of contrast right where the use of value is concerned. And I'm saying this here because if you look at this body copy that we have here, you notice that this is a bit difficult to read. All right, it's difficult to read. Now, the reason why this is difficult to read is because the value of this background here is close to the white color that we have on the body copy in the project, and this affected the contrast and the visibility of this information we have here. And I want to say this to you guys: whenever you have long copies like the way we have this here, it's always best to make it very visible. Why? Because this information here is long, and because this is long, it will be difficult for people to read the information when the color you use on the information is closer to the color that you have on the background. All right, so this is not okay. And the other thing I also notice here is the part of space between the words. All right, I know so many designers always make this mistake. This is not professional. There are some characters, I'm talking of fonts here, that are not really okay for this type of style, that whenever you apply this justification to them, it affects the body copy, it affects the information that you have in the text box, and this is not Okay. Now I've worked for clients that say, Caesar, can you please, I want the left and right of the, I don't want space on the left and right of the text frame. And I always educate them. I always tell them that, see, it's always best to not have too many space between the words. Why? Because if you have too many space between the words, it's going to make the project look childish. All right. So please, if your client is the one that asks you to do this, please tell them that is not nice. All right. Now, there are some characters that when you apply this effect to them, it's going to balance. But if you notice the character you're using does not support this, please don't do it. And there's also the part of you playing with it in your project to make those space balance. And this is where you now need to start playing with tracking and play with kerning so as to make the space between the words balance. But if you're working this way, it's going to take you time before you make this work in your project. All right. So yeah, so don't always do this. It's not always nice. All right. Yeah. Then the other part I also notice here, all right, where the part of too much contrast is concerned is we have this high contrast colors here, and then we also have this image here, and this added to the making the project heavy. Now, see guys, I'm not saying you can't use these colors in your project, but in a case where you notice that your illustration is loaded with too many activities, and that's another thing I notice so many designers still don't understand. When you're using the illustration in your project, know that every element and everything that is around that your focus in your illustration is also part of the project. And that is why, as a designer, whenever you notice anything is not adding to your project, what you need to do as a creative person is to get rid of those things. So whatever you notice, oh, there's this effect, there's this image that I noticed in my illustration and is not supposed to be part of the illustration, you get rid of it. But in this project here, I noticed that all these elements here, these images here, they're also part of the illustration. They're also part of what make the image balance. So we need them. You don't need to get rid of them. And because of this, you need to be careful with the way you play with color in order to really help make the attention of the viewers, or to make this image more clearer to the viewers. All right. Now, images are one of the elements of design that we use to inform our viewers. And we need to find a way to make them very attractive so as to really make the viewers spend time looking at the project. But when you load the project with too many elements, too many effects, too many scale, or not playing with color right in your project, you're going to affect the beauty or the message that the illustration need to pass in the project. So I need you to take note of this. And still on the part of the contrast here, you notice that the value of this color here, of this red color here, is really fighting with the background. And these are the things you need to check whenever you are playing with color in your project. All right. And yeah, and the other part here, which is also very important, because yes, some of you may not really notice this. You see, making small text overlap on images can affect the visibility of that small information. All right. So when you notice you are making the size of your lettering small, always allow more space between the image and that information that you have in the project. Because if you don't do this, you're going to affect the making that information visible in the project. And lastly, before I get to my version, I want to say this: the use of elements that are not necessary. All right, please, guys, do your best to get rid of them. They always take away from your project. I mentioned the same thing when I was talking about the use of illustration. I'm saying this here because of this element we have here. This is not necessary. I'm not saying you can't use this in your project, but you only use this when you notice there's a particular information you're trying to pass. All right. But in a case where you're not trying to pass any information with this, there's no need doing this in your project. And the last part, I just noticed one other thing again here now, is the part of not making your margin balance. If you look at the space we have here, is different from the space we have here. All right, please take note of this. Always make the space between your margin balance. And we also have the same issue here. Look at this. This is too close to the bottom part of the frame. All right, so let's go straight to the redesigned version of this project, and let's see what my result looks like. But before I get to that, if my explanation or my comment on this project is clear to you, can I see you drop a message in the comment section? And if there's anything you notice I did not mention when I was reviewing this design, can you please drop it in the comment section so as to help me, so I can help other creatives. All right. And if you enjoying watching this this training, please kindly drop a message. All right, I will appreciate if you can do that. And if you know anyone that needs to be part of this or they need to watch this video, please share the link with them. All right, so I'm going to show you guys my version here now. Okay, yep. So here is my version. So I did not create a new document. What I just did was to, play around with the designer's layout. So the first thing I did was to get rid of that white, shape that we have at the bottom part of the project. So what I did was to create a solid color, because I really want that heading and the information below it visible. So I decided to create a white color at the top of the project, because the bottom part of the project is already dark. All right, now not like it's dark, but at least it's a bit, it's not really bright. All right, so I created contrast through the use of applying a gradient effect, a linear gradient effect to the project, to help make whatever I place on the white part visible. All right, so the next thing I did was to play with the margin, because the use of margin is very, very important. It's like creating a window frame around your project. So it's also part of what's going to make your project look professional. All right, so now see the way I play with the title. I use 2 lines, and I'm sure you guys can agree with me that the use of the 2 lines help make the project look mature to the eye. All right, yeah, it made it look simple. And the next thing I did was to help the feature. All right, now the making of the feature part look dynamic. That's another thing I noticed the designer did not do, because you see, when you're putting together your project, you need to make it look interesting. You need to make it look dynamic. So I decided to use this charts icons here to illustrate each of the percentage. So I designed this with InDesign. It was InDesign that I used to do this, because there's a particular font that you can use to achieve this with InDesign. It's called Chartwell. So I used Chartwell to design this chart here, this radial chart here. And at first there's a particular layout I wanted to use, but I found out that the use of the layout is going to make the project too busy, because I'm going to end up having difficulties where, placing the venue and time. So I started with this layout, and then I placed the percentage and everything in the radial chart. And yeah, so for the money part, all right, it's not compulsory you do this, but I'm a fan of, whenever I see figure in my project, I like to make it big, because figures, numbers are also part of how you decorate your project. So don't play with don't forget this, excuse me. Whenever you're working on design project and you see figure in your project, make it look interesting. And that's the reason why I decided to make the money symbol here look the way you're looking at it now, but I still change it because it's still not looking the way I want it to look. So I had to, change it. So as you can see, you notice I've changed my layout to make the content come in their separate rows in order to make proximity balance in the project. All right. And now another thing I want you to take note of is this. You'll notice there's this space I'm allowing in between the rows. All right, you notice there's this space. I'm making sure that there's space between the information or the elements in the project. The reason is because I really want to make proximity balance in the project, which is also part of the principles of design you must always make available in your project. Okay, so don't forget this. So the reason why I decided to use rules, I'm talking of lines, to separate the charts and the money is to make my viewers know that the chart is not the continuation of the money. They are both separate information. So lines are also part of how we help our viewers know that, yes, this is also part of how we add space between the information that we have in our project. So I tried so many try and errors because it's normal to every designer. Whenever you're working on a design project, please try not to heady yourself. Whenever you try something and you notice it's not working, please change it. All right. There is no police that is watching you that is saying, hey, you must make it look this way. So have the freedom to do what you think is what you know that is best, for the project. So yeah, so proximity is what I'm looking at here. I'm trying to use proximity to group the elements. So I put them in their separate rows, which after watching this video, I'm going to show you guys and do a breakdown on how I was able to use proximity to make the project balance. So there's the part of the hierarchy in this project here. After looking at the image, the first thing that draws your attention to the project is going to be the illustration. Images are attention grabber. All right. They're the first thing that, our system is programmed to always, see whenever we see any design. And then the next thing will now be what is going to explain what the image is to us, which is the heading. And that's the next level of hierarchy in the project. Now, the next level of hierarchy after the heading is going to be the chart. Why? Because icons are also like images. All right. And don't forget using them whenever you're working on corporate designs. Icons are more like what help your project to look interesting. But now there's the using it the right way part that you need to always check out for whenever you're using icon in your design. Your icon style should be uniform. So the reason why this project here, the reason why those icons, those charts, those radial chart icon look attractive to you is because they are uniform. They look the same. All right. The only difference is just the space between the blue colors. All right. The blue and the green colors. So those are part of what you need to check. Your icons should look the same. Don't use different type of icon. If you're using a solid icon, make sure you use solid icon throughout the project. If you're using a stroke icon, also use a stroke icon throughout the project. Don't combine stroke with solid. Working this way is going to create confusion. All right. Yeah. So then the part of the playing with the contact details. The information in this project are all in French, and I don't speak French. I hope the designer can drop a message and let me know that I did not destroy the information in the project with the way I place the content, because at some point, I was finding it difficult to know what to break and what to add to make the project balance. All right. And this really, it really sucked my time. And I hope the designer will tell me, yes, I did not destroy anything. All right. So it was difficult for me to, to play with the information in the project. All right. Then there's another thing I want to say here. You know, I know so many of us know that characters, I'm talking of fonts here, they come in different style. All right. There's the part where you need to know when to use them. And I'm saying this here now because there's the particular character I use in this project for the body copy, and the character name is Marriott Pro. And you'll notice that I have the condensed style of the font used on the dates. I mean, used on the contact details and the website. And I use the regular style for the body copy. Now, the reason why I use the condensed style for the venue, the phone number, the website, and the email address is because I know the information is going to be too long if I use the regular style. So I decided to use the condensed style to maintain space. I hope somebody get that. The condensed style always come in a narrow style. So I decided anytime you're using the condensed style, I know you are trying to maintain space and not make the project look too busy or make the small information take space that you may have to now start shrinking the size to the point where it will be difficult for the viewers to see. So that's the reason why I decided to use the the condensed style of the character there. Then you'll notice the feature part, I use lines and no bullet point. And the reason why is because you see that line is those lines or rules, like we call them in graphic design, they control the eye of the viewers. So when you use rules or lines to separate points or features, what you are doing is you are actually helping your viewers to find it easy to view or to find it easy to read the information that you have in each of the lines. All right. So in between the lines, excuse me. All right. So you're actually helping them to find it easy to read those information. And I hope you guys enjoyed my process and the final result of the project. Okay. So before I end today's meeting, I want to quickly show you some hidden elements behind this project, because so many of us see successful design and we go, there's something that made this design look successful. Yes, there's always this thing called harmony, which is also part of the principles of design that we use to make our layout balance. And I'm saying this here because of this. Giving room for space between the content. All right. So if you look at this space here, the same space we have here is the same space we have here. All right. So because we have the same space that we have here, it's easy for us to know that this information here are seen as one family. Let me make it two. And then this are seen as one family. This is one. Now, some of you may say, hey, Ceasar, but there's space between the header and the body copy next to it. Yes, there is. But you'll notice that the space between this is different from the space between this. Let me quickly show you guys. Oops, I'm drawing this on the artwork. My God. Let me show you guys the space. So if you look at this now, if I draw this here, you see? So the space between this and this is equal. All right. These two here share similar space, and this space here is the same as this. So this is what this space is what we use to group the element. Now if I make a copy of the same shape now, and let me move this here so you guys can see, and I position this here, you'll notice that the space here is not the same as these two. So this will now make us group these two together because their space is not the same as this. So these two here are going to be together. All right. I hope somebody get that. So this space here is what help us with this first proximity. This same space is what help us with this second level of proximity. And then we now this one here, and this is what help us with the third. Like that. The same space is what we have here, but I'm not going to say anything about this. But yeah, I hope it's clear to you guys. And the last part is how we use space to make the brand logo visible. You know, I'm a fan of not placing anything close to brand logos. Why? Because I like making the logo of the brand visible. When you don't make the logo of the brand visible, excuse me, is one of the reasons why you hear clients say, I want our logo to be bigger. All right. But when you give room for white space and they see there's nothing close to it, it makes your clients relax and not ask you to make it loud or too big. All right. Yeah. I hope you guys learned something from today's training. If you do, can I see you give this training a like or give this video a like? And if there's anything you want to share with me, kindly drop it in the comment section. I'll appreciate your responses, guys. I'll appreciate if you guys can just say one or two things about what you learned from today's training. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not, because this is not the last time I'm going to do this. It's something I'm still going to do again next week. And for you to not miss this, I will advise you to hit the subscribe button real quick. And lastly, if you know anyone that want to learn graphic design who is fighting with understanding the principles of design, kindly share this video with them and let them also learn from this training. Somebody was asking me to always drop the exercise file. I would have loved to do that, but I don't want the owner of the project to get angry with me, because this is not my project. All right. Some designers may not like the idea of me sharing their elements with designers. All right. But if any of you want me to share your elements, after sending us your design, you can always add it to your message that we're free to share the elements with other designers. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I'm sure you learned so much from this training. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye for now. Or peace.